right, so we're a little bit after 5. I'm gonna open the waiting room. Nobody's in it, but it's still just the 3 of us. I will get the meeting rolling so we can talk as a group.
Okie dokie.
I gotta figure this out. My wife got an extra monitor now and I thought I'd take advantage of it, but then it looks like I'm looking off screen. So go back to the old way. All right, I will just read the opening language and then I'll take roll call and we'll move on from there. So pursuant to Mayor LaChapelle's May 19th, 2021 mayor authorization in accordance with Massachusetts 940 CMR 29.10, this meeting of the Easthampton Board of Public Works will be conducted via remote participation. I'll first take a roll call. Thomas Malsbury, it's myself, present. David Fagnan?
Present.
All right. I'm going to make a motion to open the Board of Public Works meeting for August 4th at 5:02 p.m. via remote participation.
I will second that.
All right. All in favor of opening the meeting? Thomas Malsbury, myself, yes. David Fagnan?
Yes.
All right. It appears we do not have anybody from the public here for item number 1, public speak. Item number 2, we are also not expecting the mayor, so we'll move on to item number 3, approval of the June 2nd and July 7th, 2021 meeting minutes. Dave, did you get a chance to review the revised minutes I sent out?
Yes, I did, Thomas. Both of them. Yeah.
Any issues with as they were recorded?
They looked fine to me.
All right, I will make a motion to approve the June 2nd, 2021 and July 7th, 2021 Board of Public Works meeting minutes as received.
I will second that motion.
All right. Thomas Malsbury, myself, yes. David Fagnan?
Yes.
All right, I'll forward those over to the clerk and get those posted. Item number 4 was added by Greg. It's in reference to a sewer backup cleanup charge at 11 Fairfield Avenue. We have some supporting documents, but I'll let Greg explain the situation and what they're requesting of the board.
So on April 17th of this year, we were called about sewage coming into a basement at 11 Fairfield Avenue. Our crews responded, found a root ball in the municipal sewer main in the road, and flushed it, got that out of there, got the sewer flowing again, and a pretty routine backup for us. But in this case, there was some damage in the basement from the really just cleanup that needed to happen in the basement at 11 Fairfield from the main backing up in the road. Historically, our insurance company has covered these claims when they are out in the main and in the system. It wasn't on private property. It was the blockage was discovered on in the road, and we have a new insurance company that has been not as accommodating with these claims, and they denied it, and it's really no fault of the homeowner. So we thought that we might bring it to the board to see if we could grant them an abatement to their water sewer bill and the amount of the charges they incurred as a result of the backup. And that's basically the story. The homeowner incurred charges of $982.35 to have a environmental cleanup company come and decontaminate her bathroom. That cleanup occurred on Saturday, April 18th as a result of the sewer backup on Sunday, April 18th as a result of the sewer backup on Saturday, April 17th. So.
Okay. Yeah, I have no particular issue or additional questions on that. I'm more of just a question to you as to why the insurance company denied this claim when historically, that's why we have these riders on the policy.
They cited, I can tell you exactly.
Because I agree that it's not the responsibility of the homeowner to pay, but we're now paying for insurance and the refund. So
yeah, we switched from Maya to, I believe it's Trident Insurance, and they just aren't covering. I do have what they referenced here. I just need to get to it.
I guess the point of my question is, in the future, will these be covered under future policies, or?
I've discussed with the mayor, hoping to get us back with Maya when we get our insurance back out again.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm not sure of all the particulars, whether we can just go back to them because we want to, but
No, it was more, I mean, I guess there's also a cost analysis. If the insurance is considerably less through them, is it worth us to pay these when denied? But
yeah. So the thing is, not every sewer backup is something we're gonna like we cause. Sometimes it's roots on private property.
I agree.
The user put in the main. It's just in this case, it wasn't. So the insurance company claimed Mass General Law, Chapter 258, Section 10B, stating the scope of a municipality sewer maintenance program is discretionary, and also there is no evidence of negligence. And this was an unforeseeable event on the side of the city. So, I mean, we do the best we can to get out and flush neighborhoods as time allows, but we can't get to every.
Yeah, no, and I saw the recommendation of the report, of the incident report, was to put Fairfield on your routine maintenance list.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess in the future, if there was another backup at this or a similar location, it would be covered because it is in the routine maintenance program, or that's for insurance agents to decide?
Yeah, that really is for insurance agents for deciding.
Okay.
This is kind of these being denied when we're owning up to them having been in the road and it being a part of, nothing that the homeowner could have controlled in any way, is really a new thing for us. So.
Okay. And I also see that was going to be one of my other questions. You phrased it as it was going to be sort of an abatement in kind in their future sewer bill, or a refund for past to cut them a check.
I think an abatement in kind of their future bill.
Okay.
I thought that was the fairest way for us to do it.
I believe so, and I think that's also the most straightforward mechanism by which the board can act on, because I looked through, and really abatements are only for fees that the city is going to incur, or a fee for service. And the only mechanism I could see for a refund was cited when if somebody challenges a water meter reading, thinking it was an error, and you test the meter and find it was an error, then we have the mechanism to issue a refund. But that was the only reference in the regs I could find to a refund mechanism. So if they're comfortable with future abatement of future fees, then I think that's something that falls within our jurisdiction. Do you have any questions, Dave?
No.
Okay.
It makes sense to me. So.
Okay. I think that's the most above board mechanism for us to work with without.
Yep.
All right. So let me get the exact total. All right, then there's no other discussion. We still have no public input on this. I will make a motion to apply an abatement of $982.35 to the account of 11 Fairfield Avenue.
And I will second that.
All in favor? Thomas Malsbury, myself, yes. David Fagnan?
Yes.
All right. I guess, Greg, can you relay that to the billing department to apply that to their account?
I will, yes.
All right, then we will move along to item number 5. I just put this on here because we had talked about it last in April. Review of the FY21 water and sewer usage data and trends. I just touched base with Lori to get the final meter reading numbers through the end of the year, or end of the fiscal year. And trends, we did actually see the last 3 months of the fiscal year, we started to see some downward trending. Basically, anecdotally with the lifting of restrictions and people getting back to work, we did see 4 to 13% reduction in water consumption those last 3 months. Still, over the whole course of the year, we had, our model had predicted we were using the standard 2% drop every year in usage. We ended up closing out FY21 with a 3% increase in water consumption and a 2.7% increase in sewer usage over FY20. So, that'll give us a little cushion with our rate adjustment from last year. And I did just do, to see how close we're getting back to pre-pandemic levels. That last column of the table I sent out was FY21 versus FY19. And we were riding about, a little over 5% over, historic pre-pandemic levels by the end of the year. So again, that gives me a little bit more confidence that, we're not going to see a dramatic drop. It would take over a 5% drop next year to even get down to our 2019 numbers.
Yeah.
So, I think we may be able to stay stable a little bit longer till we have a capital plan in place and sort of tackle the stormwater issue, and then maybe look into doing a long-term rate structure coupled with that capital plan. So we can look at it in the future, but, I don't feel like there's a need to, have an emergency rate adjustment for the next, for the end of the year. We had talked about, revisiting it now to see if there's something we wanted to do in January, but, these numbers and the, again, these are just projections. Greg, when do we normally get our retained earnings certified?
Well, we should have it by October or so.
Yeah, so we'll see how that retained earnings sort of lines up with my projection. And, I think it'll get us pretty much into a comfortable zone of retained earnings versus our operating costs, sort of trying to get closer to that target that Ty and Bond recommended, sort of having in our back pocket for a system of our size and age. So, but we'll see. Like I said, these last 3 months, there has been a pretty significant downtrend compared to last year, but it's still above 2 years ago. So, we may be able to take another 6 months and see where we start to stabilize in usage. So, you guys have any questions, or Greg, if you have any insight to what you're seeing at your end, or what you're thinking about for, what you'd like to look at for capital plan in the next year or two.
Well, I mean, we certainly have some projects out there and things we need to fund. I mean, we're looking at I've been working with the mayor quite a bit on trying to access the federal money that, the ARPA money or CARES Act money, whatever is available for infrastructure work. And, we're looking at some pretty big price tags on water and sewer work on Cherry Street, the pretty big price tag on the water work that needs to happen for Union Street reconstruction to move forward.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of projects on the wastewater side. So we're certainly going to need to take I'm pretty confident we're going to need to see some type of rate increase for FY 2023.
Oh yeah, no, and I agree. What I guess I should be saying is that, if we have a capital improvement plan in place or that warrants, increased, any increase for that that is definitely something we'll have to consider. I was just more making the point of, right now, FY22 budget that's, in place, I think we're on target to meet that requirement with the rate we currently have. So I don't think we need to make an adjustment to the ratepayers in preparation for capital expense. I think it would be a better sell if we say these are the critical infrastructures that need to be addressed, and these are the grant monies and federal money we've been able to get, but the city is still going to have to contribute this amount, and these are the rates that are going to have to support that. I think I'd rather go to the public with a plan like that than one say, we're doing all right. We'd like a little bit more in reserve. Is a harder sell right now.
Yes.
Mhm.
Dave, did you have any specific questions on?
No, it just seemed to follow what you explained last time with the COVID and everybody's.
Yeah. I mean, I almost debated running the numbers purely from, like the pandemic year from like April through May of this year, just to see what that true slug was. But I figured I'd rather keep it in the fiscal years just to sort of keep it compartmentalized. But yeah, if you just scroll through the data, from when it's in FY20, when it jumped up to 15%, and then the last month in April of this year was 14% above historic. So
I know.
And everything in between was high, and then it tails back off. So really, everybody washing their hands, right?
I guess so.
Craig, did you ever hear from any other waterworks that they've seen similar trending? Or?
Yeah, I mean, everybody saw like that residential increase, but it was heavily dependent on your split between residential and commercial users too.
True. I'm sure some communities took a hit without manufacturing in commercial operations and kitchen operations. So
to be staying up with all the rain we've had is good.
Oh yeah, well, I guess we'll get to that in the next section, but I'm curious how you guys survived 13 inches of rain.
We fared a lot better than some
some
cities and towns, that's for sure.
All right, so before we move on to that, if there's anything else on the data review.
I am good on that, Thomas.
All right. So we'll back burner that till we have, probably I'll do a similar thing once we get certified retained earnings and just sort of do a analysis of how my models worked, and if I need to tweak them in the future, or if I completely failed and we need to bring in the hired guns, but I'd rather keep it in-house for now.
Yes.
All right, then we will move on to the next item, director's report.
So, yeah, I mean, speaking of the rain, I mean, like I was kind of alluding to, we have really fared a lot better than other cities and towns. I mean, we haven't, knock on wood, we haven't had any real major damage. We did have some flooding with the river coming up along Fort Hill and River Street, but that's nothing new. I mean, that happens a lot. It usually doesn't happen in July, but no real damage to structures or any of our infrastructure that I can report. I mean, we did have some trouble at the top of Reservation Road with the heavy rain and washouts up there. But when you look at what some of the other cities and towns are dealing with, our stuff's pretty light. So we've been fortunate in that respect. We do have the Main Street paving project moving forward. I do not have an actual start date from Warner Brothers, but we have signed a contract. We had a pre-construction meeting last week. I've asked them for 7 days notice before they do anything, but I couldn't really get them to commit to any type of date that they're going to start. I think by the first part of September they should have equipment and crews in town. We have a requirement for them to be finished by the first week of November, so that's replacement of about 25 or 29 catch basins, mill and overlay of the road. We're going from South Street to Park Street. RRFB will be installed at Glendale and Maine, and it's really a great project to see getting started. So I had the water crew up at the community garden last week. We had to replace the service to the irrigation system there, was leaking. They were able to get that. This seems to be drying up nice, so they had a couple plots they couldn't use. And most of the utility guys have been heavily involved in installing a sanitary sewer line on Wamilko Way. We had a manhole and a stub installed down by the bike path there near, I think it's number 17, the last building. And the intent years ago was to continue that line up to Main Street, take some of the flow off Main Street where we pick up Big Y and the Red Rock shops in Southampton and direct that flow down to the trunk line on the bike path. So with this line in on Wamelco, it's accomplishing a couple of things. We're able to tie in the building in the center there on DOS Construction's property. We'll be able to tie in gravity and not have to pump up to Main Street anymore. And then we'll have our line there ready at the top of Wamelco and Main for directing a lot of that flow off of Main Street down Wamelco and onto the bike path. So it worked out good to get in there and get that done while there's renovations happening at the end of Wamelco. So we're out of there before they have any final landscaping and everything in. We're,
out of curiosity, how is that getting funded? Was that, a historic project that just funds became available for? Or was opportunity because of other work?
More so just out of our O&M. All we've had to buy is just pipe board. It's all our crews doing all the work.
That's great.
We had the structures in stock. It's a good project for us to go do because we're not paying for police details. It's a dead end street. There's not a lot of other utilities in the way. I don't like to tie our guys up too much with large projects like this just because they get called for a sewer backup or we have an emergency somewhere else. I don't have anyone. It can be hard to leave a big job like that, but given the location of it, we're able to plate it and kind of, the traffic's light down there. So it's one that I wasn't too worried about taking on. So
great. Mm-hmm. That adds a little redundancy to our system.
Absolutely. Yeah. If it were on a busier road, I would say we needed a contractor, but we've been able to do it. I'd pull some guys from highway to drive trucks and, we've got staffing issues just like every other organization seems to these days, but we're getting through it. So
that was a sewer line, Greg?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. I knew you said it, but I missed it right at the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah.
8-inch.
Yeah. I saw everybody working. I was wondering what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, that's basically all I have for you guys. But at this point, I'm very short-handed in the office here. DPW, both clerks are out. Or, as you know, Michelle's out. Now our accounts payable clerk is out for an extended period of time. So we're working on hiring a temporary employee to come in and help keep the bills paid and paperwork moving through here. So doing the best I can to keep up with it myself, but it's it's a challenge. So
I know that.
I volunteered Dave to come in and assist.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll have someone in within a week or two.
I can stuff envelopes.
Yeah. If it was only that simple, believe me.
I know.
You wouldn't believe what I got to do to pay an electric bill.
Oh my goodness.
We're making it happen. So.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
yeah, well, with all that rain, I was glad you replaced that failed structure you found on Mountain Road.
Oh yeah. I want to get up there and take a look at that. So
see how it fared.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We usually wait till after the first frost to close that for the day and get all the mowing and everything done. But boy, I was driving down the other day. It's pretty tall. So we may not be able to wait that long. But.
Yeah, that's what preventative maintenance saves us, right?
Yeah. I mean,
rather than having a washout on there.
One thing I've been dealing with a lot is like overgrown sidewalk vegetation. Just with all the rain, it's just sending letters to residents to let them know they got to trim their landscaping back.
All right.
Like you were saying, Greg, I was up in central Vermont over the weekend. Oh, those poor people, those poor guys up there.
Yeah.
DPW crews everywhere.
Yeah.
Side sluices, everything's washed out, roads washed out. Oh my goodness.
Vermont, it's got to be even, with all the elevation changes and it's just.
You can just see it where it comes sloughing off the mountain, off the ridges and everything. It's wow. Yeah.
We've, fingers crossed that hopefully the weather pattern kind of looks like it might be changing a little bit here. So
starting to, maybe.
Yeah.
Before you know it, we'll be dealing with snow. So
It's one or the other, right?
keeps it interesting.
Welcome to New England, right?
Like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
All right. On that note, if there's nothing else, our next meeting will be September 1st. So if there's nothing else for this meeting, I will make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that. Yeah.
All right. All in favor? Thomas Mulsbury, myself, yes. David Fagnan?
Yes.
All right. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll
Thank you,
see
guys.
you in September.
Yep, have a
Thank
good night.
you. See you. Yeah.